Hey y'all, guess what? This is post number 1000. And I thought, since I've got the camera and some people have said they want to see more videos, I don't know what the rest of you think, but some have said they wanted to see more videos. Post number 1000 to me was worth a video. So I've got a lot of things I want to cover, and just to let you know, every once in a while you'll see me look down. That's because I wrote an outline. Remember, I've talked before about how I put everything in outlines so that I can follow things along and know what I want to talk about and what I want to say and what I want to do. I use outlines for a lot of things. So I have an outline, and that's what I'm going to follow. So first, I want to let you know that since I'm also recording a video, I'm not doing what I normally do every 100 posts where I wrote mainly about this and mainly about this and whatever, throwing all that stuff out the window. Frankly, sometimes I'm not sure that anyone really cares. Usually I document that kind of thing for myself so that I can set my goals for the next 100. This time I'm just gonna, pretty much leave it alone and we'll see where this goes. So I still will say that it took me 3 months and a week to hit the last 100. The last post I had, number 900, was on December 10th. So, I'm thinking that's still a pretty good pace for me. So, there you go. And I didn't say anything special at post number 900 as far as what my goals were for these next 100. So I don't have to follow up on that. So let's instead look at what I said were my goals for this year for the blog. I think it's the first quarter, pretty much. You might as well say that. The quarter's not quite over yet, but still, it's a good time to take a look so that I don't have to do it again later on. So how am I doing? Well, the first thing I said is I wanted to earn $5,000 on the internet this year. Now, truth be told, I'm not quite there, but I am actually ahead of last year at this point. I'm probably averaging close to about, close to $300 a month now. So if you put that out for the year, that's about $3,600. And if things actually grow near the end of the year like they did last year, 5,000, it could be reachable. So that's not so bad. Now, I also said I wanted to earn $500 on this blog. I haven't earned anything on this blog. Most of the time, I have said often, or I've written often, that my goal for this blog has never really been to make money. Yes, I do have those ads at the top, and I have some things on the side and products on the side there. And it would be nice, but I pretty much have always said that it was not really my goal. Well, it's going to become one of my goals, and we will come back to my goals going forward, but it's not one of my goals yet. However, I did have that $500 goal. I said, maybe I could make a little something off of it. Hadn't happened yet. Made nothing. But it's a goal, so there we go. And then I said I wanted to try to reach 50,000 on Alexa. Now, at the time that I wrote that particular thing, I was around 88,000 on Alexa, which I'm still thinking is pretty good. Anything under 100,000 to me is still doing pretty good. I got down to around 70,000. And then all of a sudden, I'm now back up to around 87,000. So I'm still better than I was when I first wrote that, but it's less than where it was. And I don't know if anyone else is experiencing any of these things or not, but it started to go up around the same time that Google added that thing where they were taking away points from article farms or content farms and whatever. And I'm taking a hit. Now, it's possible because I've written so many things that they're looking at it and they're saying, well, this stuff's all over the board, and maybe I'm taking a hit for that. I don't know. The truth of the matter is that search engines have never been the major source of my traffic. It's always been pretty much direct traffic. So I think a lot of blog commenting I've done has driven more people here than anything else. Still, Google is still Google, and you still want to be, at least found on the search engines and whatever, so I don't know, but I'm not overly worried about it. I think that it will end up probably somewhere around 70,000. I'm still going to shoot for that 50. I don't know how to get it quite yet, but I'm still going to shoot for that. Then I said something about writing 2-pillar articles. Well, then I wrote that pillar thing last week on Better Blogging. As a matter of fact, it was 5,500 words. Actually, after I did some editing, I think I even jumped up to like close to 5,700 words later on. So I broke it up into 2 posts. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's kind of 2-pillar articles. I don't know if you agree with that or not. You can tell me later on if you think I'm cheating. Do I have to write another one? I'm sure there's someone out there saying, no more 3,000 word posts. Please don't do that to us. But interestingly enough, I've gotten some good feedback on those two posts on Facebook and through LinkedIn, and some private messages. Some people have sent me messages. So not as many comments on the posts themselves, but I've gotten some feedback. So, who knows? Maybe there are people out there who like that, but they don't want to comment. We've talked before about people who like to read things and don't want to comment, and yet they, would like to express themselves somehow, so they send email or they write messages elsewhere. Fine. You know what? It's out there, and it's driving some kind of thing. And who knows? That could end up being a major thing for me later on down the line. I guess we'll find out. So now let's look at the last one that I had on there. And basically, it was the thing about trying to increase my influence through this blog or through other, means online. And I've kind of started to do some of that. I mentioned before that I had 2 speaking gigs lined up, non-paid. I really want paid gigs, but at least I had 2. And I got to do both of them at the DeWitt Library, which is about 15, 20 minutes away from here. And I did the first one on social media, and I did the second one on websites. And the second one was well attended. The first one it was, and it turns out that people thought the library was closed because we'd had a big snowstorm, and the library had been closed until 1 p.m., and most people thought that meant that the library was closed all day. Still, we had a couple of people show up, and I still got to do it. So, I'm looking at that, and it did get advertised over town. I found out it was in one of the newspapers, so that's pretty cool. I've been on radio a couple of times. Beverly has graciously had me on her radio show a couple of times, and I have included the links on a couple of other posts to the file that you could download if you really wanted to listen to it. I have no idea how many people have downloaded the file. It turns out that when you add Google Analytics, if you add something to download, Analytics doesn't know how to track that. So I'd have to probably go look at my ISP statistics, and, they're always kind of iffy anyway, so we'll see where that goes. I've actually been interviewed. Karen from Blazing UK, Blazing Minds, that's it, interviewed me, and I think I put the link up to that interview, and that was pretty neat. Always willing to be interviewed. Matter of fact, I have one pending from someone who wants to interview me as a finance guy because of my finance blog. So that should be somewhat interesting. I'm not really sure what that's going to entail, but that should be kind of interesting. That would be a first for me. And I actually wrote a guest post. I think I linked to that. That was a guest post on Rachel Laverne's blog. And, she wrote a guest post on this blog. So there's that. And I'm working on an interesting project. Well, okay, it's interesting to me. A lot of you know that I actually write a business newsletter on leadership, management, diversity, employee issues, kind of thing like that, motivation. And what I'm looking to do is I'm around 160 posts on that thing now. And what I'm looking to do is probably go through my first 50 to 75 and go through some of my earlier blog posts on my business blog and re-edit some of that stuff and turn it into a book of some kind. It's probably going to start out as an ebook. Matter of fact, it's definitely going to start out as an ebook. And then I'm going to do something from there. So that ought to prove to be, at least it's another project, and it's somewhat interesting in a way, because when people subscribe to the newsletter now, they get the latest newsletter. So there may be some other content that maybe there's some kind of market out there. So we'll see how that goes. So the last thing I had was more reviews. I said I was going to do a lot more reviews. I don't know that I've actually done a lot more reviews, but it's still out there. I have a number of books that I think I want to do a review of. As a matter of fact, you saw yesterday's post where I used something from the 4-Hour Workweek. I'm thinking I may still review that book as well as some other books that I have. So the next thing I want to talk about is some changes that will be coming to the blog. The first one is that after next weekend, I'm going to end my Sunday question series. I thought it was kind of interesting to do for a year. I wanted to see where it went. Actually, I think it'll end up being 10 months officially by ending it. It didn't generate what I thought it would. I figured, Sundays are usually the days where traffic just drops. And so I thought maybe if I introduce a Sunday question, something relatively light, most of the time that some people would want to share their ideas on that. Well, that hasn't really worked out. And I might as well just skip that. Maybe I can, fill that with something else, or maybe I'll take Sundays off and go swimming. Yeah, that's going to happen. I don't swim, so we'll see, where that goes. Reevaluation of some of my own products. you see there to the upper left on the blog here that I've got products that I've created. And for me personally, I like those products, but I'm thinking that maybe on this type of blog, which really talks more about blogging and technology and whatever, that I should have products that are geared towards all these other subjects and leave those business products for my business blog. I'm not quite sure yet. Obviously, the idea is to create your own products. The ones about the website, SEO and using your website as a marketing tool, I'm thinking those should probably stay, but I also have my other books on there and other products, and I may just remove those. But I got to think about it. And then there's a reevaluation of some of my sales pages. Now, this is linked to a different blog of mine, and you notice under my picture there with me holding the parrot, I linked to a couple of things. There's actually one link I'd like you to look at, and it's the one for books. And that's a new one there. And the thing is, over the years, I have recommended a lot of books through my business blog and my business newsletter, and I want to put them all into a certain place. And so I started this page, and I got to a certain point, and I said, wow, that's a lot of books, and I have way more to go. And I can continue on with that format, or I could break it up. And I'm thinking about breaking it up into an alpha format instead. Now, Mitchell Allen, who some of you know, suggested that maybe I create a separate page for each one of them and then say something about them. No, that ain't happening. I've got almost, 60, 70 books. That's not happening. That plus, we know that Google is now penalizing sites that use that kind of thing. And since that site doesn't have a lot of real content, I'm thinking, no, that's not going to work. So that's something, but still, I'd like you to take a look. And every once in a while, if I review a book, you can pretty much guarantee it'll be on there. And it's also going to have movies and CDs as I go along. So there's that. And then my next 1,000 posts, what am I going to do? What am I really looking to do? Obviously, one of the goals is that I really want to increase my influence. I want to be known as, a blogger of some type. Whether I talk about social media, or whether I talk about blogging, whether I talk about writing, whether I talk about diabetes, who cares? I just want to be known as this blogger. I want people to know who I am. I want the big boys to know who I am. I want people to follow me on Twitter that I don't have to follow. Okay, but you know what I mean. I really, I have these goals. I just want to be out there, and, we'll see how it is. But I'm going to take that shot. I want to now try to make some money off of this blog. Now, I still am fighting the list thing that a lot of the top people are saying, well, you're not going to make any money with the list. I still don't know what I'm going to send to anybody if I start collecting email addresses. So I don't really still see that. So I don't see me doing that. I am going to try to write more guest posts. I'm not going to, if someone wants me to write a guest post for them, you know what? Just ask, and I will write it. And like I said, I wrote one for Rachel. I'm willing to write it, but I'm not going to go trolling people asking if I can write guest posts for them. That's just not going to happen. And, basically, I've asked this question in the past, and I'm going to ask it one more time. What would you like me to write more of? A few people have said blogging motivation. Matter of fact, most of the people the first time I asked said, just tell us more about blogging motivation. Give us ideas on stuff and whatever. Okay, that works out fine. Obviously, I'm not Mr. New Technology guy. So if you're looking for ideas on smartphones or iPads or whatever, you know what? I'm not the guy. But if you're looking for technical expertise on maybe blogging or social media ideas, concepts and things like that, that's really what I'm strongest at. And so, you can ask those questions. You can ask questions about diabetes if you want to. You can ask questions about playing poker. Don't ask me any questions about playing chess. That's, I'm on a losing streak with Sire right now, and, Mitchell is a lot better than I am also. So don't ask me any of those kind of questions. And now this is the final thing. And this is just something I'm going to close with. And this will actually see who actually watched the video and who didn't, because I thought maybe I could get this in 10 minutes, but it looks like it's going to be close to 15. You're looking at me right here, straight face. I'm going to give you a profile. Profile the other way. Do you see this face as James Earl Jones? I can't believe how many people think I look like James Earl Jones, and I'm missing it. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I certainly don't have the voice, but I'm missing it. Let me know your thoughts. Anyway, thank you for listening. Hope y'all take care. Hope you have a great day, and let's see what the next 1,000 is going to bring us. Bye.